Good afternoon, Cherry Blossom family. How are you today? Today is Friday the 17th of April. Friday the 17th of April. My kind of like, halfway through this craziness, I suppose, but maybe we're just getting started. Nobody really knows. But we're here. We're all at home or someplace in front of the computer. Hopefully you're taking some time out today to see what we have to say about how hemp and arthritis could be beneficial. Well, not beneficial necessarily to one another. I think hemp oil might be beneficial to the arthritis. But let's start it off. Okay, so as we've been seeing lately, a lot of people have been taking this opportunity to get out there, start walking again, getting mobile, riding their bikes. And I know some people it's not as easy as it is for others. Some people have a little more pain, jointness, stiffness, and a lot of times we call that arthritis. So you may be suffering from some form of arthritis that prevents you from getting out there and enjoying some of this beautiful weather. Maybe not today here in the DMV as much. It's like 30 something degrees outside, but most days I think we're getting out there and getting loose, getting ourselves reinvigorated and taking some of the time that we maybe not have had before, to get ourselves back in shape. So I know some of our arthritis sufferers may not feel like, oh man, like we're not being able to get out there and get a full sense of this and not getting a full sense of enjoyment. So what we're going to talk about today is that we're going to see if we can, show some of those who may be suffering with maybe not be arthritis. It may just be joint pain from some sort of injury or what have you, but let's see how we can help you, or this hemp oil, this substance that we've been touting every week, that we've had this whole program built around, can help you get a little more relief and enjoy a little more quality of life. So let's start with arthritis in general. There are two types of arthritis. So I think what we normally known as arthritis, or what the old folks used to call is like rheumatism. If anyone's old out there, please excuse me if I offended you. But back in the day, I saw like when I used to watch Sanford and Son, my rheumatism and such, right? So there is, thank you, two types of arthritis. Osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. Osteoarthritis is more of a degenerative joint disease. It comes from more like wear and tear and aging. I think that's what a lot of us have. I think there's probably about 30 million people worldwide dealing with some sort of osteoarthritis. Now, speaking for myself, sometimes, like I said, this like usually starts in like your 30s or 40s. I remember like when my dad was young and he used to start telling me like, yeah, like my hands and my knees are hurting. And I'm like, yeah, you're young. Like, what are you talking about? Dad, if you're watching, I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay, so yes, so somewhere in my 30s or 40s, I had some injuries and doing a little more like shock to the body. And again, like the wear and tear. We started using, I was like playing a lot of basketball, banging myself up. So you could see how like the continued wear and tear of a sport or your job. I know some people know, maybe some people in their family who might have, had a really hard or strenuous physical job in their youth. And now, you can tell that that has had taken a toll on their body, and they seem like they're a little slower to get up, a little slower to get around. Generally, those are forms of osteoarthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis is a little bit different. It is, in short, it is inflammation of one or more of the joints caused by that causes pain, swelling, stiffness that often increases over time with age, and it can be accompanied by other symptoms, sometimes even like fever or things like that. Other parts of the body may be hurting, but rheumatoid arthritis is actually an autoimmune disorder that occurs when your body's immune system sort of is like telling itself to attack its own tissue. And that sounds a little crazy. It's almost like this misinformation is going on. And that is, that's like a little uncomfortable, I can imagine. And this is really, what's really happening is that the synovium, if I have that right, I'm not quite, I'll tell you a week, I'm not a doctor, but the synovium, or the lining of the joints, is what's being impacted there. So again, two types of arthritis. osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. I think rheumatoid arthritis really it probably impacts women more than men. Probably 2 to 3 times more women are impacted by rheumatoid arthritis. And I think, one of the differences is that I think with osteoarthritis, it's more of an isolated pain. It usually starts in one joint, but a rheumatoid arthritis can affect multiple joints at the same time and have like different types of symptoms. So we're gonna kind of look through that, okay? Symptoms of osteoarthritis. I'm gonna reread this. I'll tell you about the sources later. Morning stiffness. That kind of lasts like half the day. I think we all understand that if you're of a certain age. Joint pain that it gets a little bit worse during the day. Swelling, warming, stiffening, bone spurs, and things like that. And with some of the more like the the rheumatoid arthritis, it could be joint pain, joint stiffening, redness or warmth near the joint, restricted range of motion, extreme fatigue, and sometimes even have impact on other body systems like respiratory, lung, kidney, respiratory and lung, of course, the same thing. So even the cardiovascular system. If you need to have a little bit more in depth of how rheumatoid arthritis is impacting people, that's what not this whole thing is about. This today's topic, but you should talk to your doctor. That I was highly recommended. But today we're going to talk about little fun facts and about arthritis, give you a little bit of history, and then how we think that hemp oil can really be of help. Some of the things that we're talking about already, as we already know, that hemp oil has already been known to help with pain, inflammation, a little bit of stiffness and things like that. So you could see where this is kind of going right along that line. So for the sake of the day, let's get a little fun facts going on, about arthritis. So in medieval Europe, they thought that bad body chemistry or bad makeup led to, not makeup in the face, but like your chemical makeup. And somehow like this was sort of, this bad blood in you was sort of dripping into the joints. And this is what they kind of, diagnosed as or one of the early sort of forms of diagnosis for arthritis. And we're talking about something that's kind of been ailing man probably about as long as man's been around. I mean, you can tell we've all had joints. So, and most men and women have done work. So sooner or later, I think that, even in an osteoarthritis situation, you're going to start getting some wear and tear. It just happens. Like, we're humans. I think even the animals, it probably happens too. Back in, the early colonial periods, physicians thought that the mixing of the old and new world people contributed to arthritis. But somehow, it's crazy, that the mixing of these different cultures and now like the different foods and the different things that are being introduced and the different germs that sort of change your microbiome, and all of a sudden all these things started happening. I think we know that's not quite the truth. I think these things have been happening to people for a long time. So in the 30s, believe it or not, we saw the introduction of injectable gold as a treatment for arthritis. So I know, it's crazy. They would inject gold into the joints, and I guess they would think that, and apparently this is somewhat effective for some time. I don't know, and that was sort of the introduction of what they called DMARDs, disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drugs. So again, anti-rheumatic, rheumatism, arthritis. So these practices, they've been trying for a long time to try to find things that are going to help and treat people. By the 50s, we saw the introduction of corticosteroids. We're still seeing that use now. Now we have other things like, what do you call it? NSAIDs, biologics, NSAIDs, things like Celebrex, more of these disease-modifying anti-rheumatic drugs, and all kind of things that are out there now, even like things like Tylenol. But I think in today's age, people are looking for something a little bit different. And it seems like this is going to be a continuing problem. And we haven't eliminated, or I don't think we even figured out where the origins of rheumatic arthritis come from. So here we are. So what are we going to do? People want to get out there. They want to have a good quality of life. and I think they want to take things that are not going to hurt them and damage them. So what we are recommending is you try some hemp oil. You know, surprise, surprise, we're a hemp company, but and we do totally support that line of thinking. But I think that if you can try something that is legal, that is not going to hurt you, that no one has ever overdosed from, and that it's not necessarily led to any other unusual side effects, it's worth giving it a shot, I believe. So let's see, we can talk about, before we get too much into the promotion of hemp oil as a treatment, we're going to get into some more facts. So we've already talked, I think we talked last week about how the in ancient times, we know that the hemp and hemp seeds have been used for curative and nutritional properties for thousands of years. In ancient Asia, there has been archaeological evidence and things have been dug up and they found hemp seeds. Even in like Egypt, Macedonia, and Greek remains have been reported. Oh, excuse me, wrong one. Sorry, that was a mistake. As far as, like ancient Russia, 3,000 years ago, I think in Siberia, they found like burial mounds that have had like charred hemp seeds there. So that says something about how long man has been using or looking to this plant as a cure or a healing source for the things that ails us on the inside. So we're going to get back to the facts about actually some facts about arthritis. So good. Here's what I was starting with. The Egyptian, Macedonian, and Greek remains have all been reported they have reported found remains that found severe lesions about the bone joints coupled with degenerating bones. So as again, like we said, this is going back, the signs of rheumatoid arthritis. So this has been, again, ailing people for a very long time. In ancient India, Ayurvedic medical text from 123 AD describes a disease so as swollen, painful joints and occasional fever, likely to be rheumatoid arthritis. There's a physician, Guillaume de Bayeux, a French physician actually, in the late 1500s, 1591. He might have possibly been the first to kind of formally identify this disease. He calls it a condition of swollen joints, swollen and stiff joints, and actually names it rheumatism. So let's talk a little bit about how chemically this hemp oil, which we know is studied in CBD, actually helps the body. So you have receptors in your body. We all have what we call endocannabinoid system. And the endocannabinoid system is in your body and actually produces cannabinoids. Your body produces cannabinoids. They're not just found outside of your body, but the ones that are found outside of your body are there to help the ones that are in your body. So that endocannabinoid system is primarily made up of like two primary receptors, the CB1 and the CB2 receptors. The CB1 receptors are located in the brain, and they kind of control mood, cognitive thought, function, motor skills, memory, appetite, and things like that. CB2 are kind of found on the periphery, and they are kind of found in the immune system, and they kind of monitor and control more things like pain and inflammation. So when you're ingesting your cannabinoids, whichever ones they may be, know that THC generally attaches to CB1 receptors that control, again, mood, cognitive thought, coordination, memory. And if you've ever seen anyone who has been, you understand that. Or if you yourself, you do understand that. You can see that relationship. But what some of the doors, more mystery really found around CBD, which we're just kind of getting to know really, and that is really more directing towards the pain and inflammation, which is going to help you with your arthritis, with your joint pain, with your swelling, and you can obviously where you can see how if you have pain and swelling, and maybe not so much as like a bone to bone situation. I mean, that's really painful, but with medium to moderate pain, up to medium moderate pain, it can help it quite a bit and give you a bit more mobility and a bit more quality of life than you may be currently enjoying. Oh, Hello, my wife is watching. Thank you. Savalis, how you doing today? And Valerie, thank you very much for being here today. I appreciate you guys watching in, and hopefully you're getting some quality information today. So getting back, so again, like not only does CBD attach to the CB2 receptors, but in a way that it actually encourages the body to start producing more of its own natural cannabinoids. That is super important. So it not is it just introducing something foreign to try to help you, it's actually working in conjunction with what is already naturally in your body to help your body produce more things that are protecting you and helping you prevent from pain. It also is known to be sort of like a protectant to the nerve. A study in 2017, it was published in the Pain Journal in December of 2017, that CBD both decreased joint inflammation and seemed to protect the nerve. I don't make this stuff up. All this is really things that I've researched from more medical journals and medical sources. I'm not just some guy coming on here who's just like, oh yeah, I believe in this stuff and I'm just going to tell you anything I want, hoping that you're going to buy my products. That's not really what this is about. This is about showing people and educating people so you can have a good understanding and make sense of all this. A lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of information. And I'd like to think that we're giving you good, honest, and trustworthy information so you can make informed decisions for yourself. And that is really the primary goal of this Hemp Fact Friday. So, and this is why we're discovering things, or discussing things that I think that impact most everyday Americans. Part of our goal is really to get, I can't say our goal is to get people out there and active, but I think as any organization, I think it's usually not just one sense of motivation. Right? Part of it is more than that, and one of our goals is truly through this product to see people get out there and get more active. So this one was a little more hitting home today because it's really I have a lot to thank for hemp oil for making sure that I can stay active. Believe it or not, I may be a little older than people think, and this body's taking a little wear and tear. And if not for these products, I know that especially the last 5 or 10 years, I'd be a heck of a lot more limited than I am right now. So we can talk about some different ways of actually taking hemp oil or CBD oil because it is federally legal since 2017, since the Farm Bill 2017. So if there's any hesitation about taking it for legal reasons, know that in all 50 states now, you can legally buy hemp oil. And I don't know about each state has its own laws about producing and growing hemp, but you should be able to purchase hemp in most places. And I do understand that not every place is progressive as the Washington, D.C. area, where we happen to reside. And it may be a little bit harder, but you can go online. And we do know one place, and that happens to be cherryblossom.cbd.com. Just throwing that out there. So, so since 2018, again, hemp has been federally legal. And it had been mostly illegal since 1937, since the Marijuana Act of 1937, which sort of progressed into the Controlled Substances Act, which what we currently look at today, that guides us at what we can and what we can take, or what is looked at as federally legal or damaging, to people. Here we are now in 2018, or excuse me, 2018. Jesus, what year am I in? I'm in 2020. And we have so many options, and there's so many things out there on the market. So you have, which gives you probably the best bioavailability, is tincture or some sort of oil that goes under the tongue. And I know we've always said this is more than just drops under the tongue, but those drops under the tongue can be very effective and work very quickly, which is the real whole point of bioavailability. And bioavailability is basically the amount of a substance that becomes available to the body for bioactivity when introduced through ingestion, injection, skin contact, or inhalation. We don't really, funny, Amy, it's March 57, 2018. Thanks, Amy. You know, I'm taking hits here on my own show. That's okay. But cherry blossom products we make our products for maximum bioavailability. There's really very little point of taking something if you're feeling like it's not going to be effective. So you're never going to feel like it's being effective if it's not actually reaching what it's supposed to reach. So tincture, it sort of feeds your everyday. Tincture or hemp oil, I would use those terms interchangeably. It kind of feeds your endocannabinoid system every day. So you take it, and that could come through that everyday feeding can come through an oil, it can come through a gummy, but if you want to get the most results, I think you want to take some sort of an oil or sublingual. And that can be sublingual, or if you don't want to drop it on the tongue, you can put it in a smoothie, you can put it in a beverage, you can put it in food, and take it and ingest it that way. And again, we talked about inhalation, injection, ingestion, and skin contact. If you're having acute pain, try to find a topical. There's plenty of topicals out there available, and especially they're probably more available than most things that you can actually ingest orally or sublingually, because I think the grocery stores and places like Whole Foods, with the not convenience stores, the drug stores, they are selling CBD products, and a lot of times, at least in this market, what I see is mostly topicals, which works for this particular topic. Usually people are having acute pain, whether it be in your hands, whether it be your elbows, shoulders. Oh man, shoulders. You don't really realize how limited you can be if you lose the ability to use a shoulder. I mean, it does a lot of things. So shoulder pain, knee pain. I think most Americans are suffering with some sort of knee pain. We spend a lot of our days on our feet. Whether it be going up and down steps, everybody's job is different. Some people's job are more strenuous than others. Some people's jobs that require them to do a little bending, lifting, and what have you. And after a while, that takes a toll on your knees. It takes a toll on your ankles. It may take a toll on your hips and joints. We suggest, if I had to suggest how to use CBD, start slow and low, or any sort of hemp oil, you start slow and low. Start small and work your way up, and you start to feel like where your point is. So let's say it's oil. If it's a quarter dropper, and you start with a week with that, and then maybe the next week go to like a half a dropper. If that's not working, then you go move up. But if it is enough, then stay there. No pressure. If it's gummies, maybe start with one in the morning. Then next week, maybe start with one in the morning, one in the evening. If that's until you get to the point where you're feeling like you're getting some effective relief. Again, there can be to be perfectly honest, there can be some sort of complications as it pertains to CBD, but usually if there are medicines that we talked about blood thinners before, and then things that you process through the liver, or things that come into the body that go through the liver and get broken down that way, can sometimes kind of mess with your bioavailability. So if you are on medicines, if you have any sort of prescriptions that you feel, before you introduce anything, whether it be this or anything else, it's always a good idea to talk to your healthcare provider and get a feel of what they think. If they know you and they've been working with you and they know you and your body better than, of course, anything you're ever going to hear on the internet. So that would probably be the best advice. Hi, Kathleen. How you doing? Thank you for joining us today. Well, I don't really think there is much else. I don't know that you guys always have. Well, I guess I do have a little bit more stuff here. What else? We can go into. We talked about dosing considerations. We talked about proper dosing, bioavailability. I don't know. Maybe that's pretty much it. But I do know that most of us, like I said, speaking for myself, who suffers from pain and joint inflammation, usually on my lower body, there are things other than CBD oil that you can be using. We talked about a little bit of those things. Again, talk to your doctor. But exercise on a daily basis. Get out there and get active as much as you possibly can. If you can't get out there, stay in and be active. There's so many things on the internet right now that you could be doing that are low impact. Especially the last 5 years, a lot of low impact has been very important in the world of exercise and physical activity because they understand too that not everybody can do the same things. We're not all built the same. I think one of the best things my doctor ever told me, she said, I told her I was running, and she says, why? You don't have a runner's frame. Amy, where can you buy our products? At www.cherryblossom.cbd.com, and there's a shop page. I'm going to put that right here. Let's see. www.cherryblossom.cbd.com. Perfect. Thank you. Where did I leave off before I got in that? I don't know where I was. But either way, that we're going to pretty much wrap it up there today. Next week, I don't remember what the topic is. I don't have but I think, I don't remember what it is. But it's going to be something interesting. I guarantee. Today, our sources. We like to identify our sources. I know some people like to come in here on social media and act like, they're the God all whatever ever of information. That is not us. We're not the God all of any information. We research and we use other people's information that they've worked very hard for, and we'd like to give them credit. So if you have any questions that we may not have answered, you could always hit us at info@cherryblossom.cbd.com. That goes to about 3 people's email, so that one of us will definitely get back to you. One of us at the company. You could also submit a website submission at the website that I just put up, www.cherryblossom.cbd.com. But here, again, our sources today are curearthritis.org, rheumatoidarthritis.org, verywellhealth.com, the Mayo Clinic, healthline.org, and Everyday Health. Very, very good sources. We want to see you guys out there. So one day, I guess when we're all out there to socialize in public, hopefully we're all a little bit more active when all this thing is said and done. So is it good for back pain? Indeed it is. Yes, it is, very much so. I would suggest using a full spectrum oil. If you don't have to get drug tested by any means, when I say full spectrum, that means that there is trace amounts of THC in there, less than the legal limit, yes. At least here on the East Coast. I know on the West Coast they sell things that are more than the legal limit, but the states have different laws. But very, very good. And I would suggest starting with a topical, something that you can just sort of smooth around on there. And see, like wait a few minutes, wait about 30 to 40 minutes and see if you get a little bit more mobility. Kind of works the same way or used in the same way as, say, a Tylenol or something like that, where it's not going to totally take away pain. This is not some sort of opiate. This is not interfering with your nervous system. What it is doing is just focusing in on your pain and inflammation and your own endocannabinoid system, so you can start. Not only you're getting your cannabinoids from the outside, but it's helping you produce some on the inside of your body. So you're getting almost like a 2-pronged attack on your pain. That is being produced within you and those that is coming in from outside of you. How can we explain this to older people so their lives so they don't freak out? I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's anything to freak out about. What I do know is that I did explain a few things today. Is that it's perfectly legal. I think with some of our older customers.
2 different plans.
Well, yes. So I think some of the questions that I usually get when we were able to go out and speak to people face to face. I think there's still a lot of misinformation about the legality. So we want to stress that it is totally legal. We do want to stress that CBD is prevalent in both marijuana and hemp. Our products and the products that we're suggesting are derived from hemp. Hemp produces more CBD, way more than marijuana. It's trace amount, than THC. It's very, very trace amounts. And generally, like once this is processed into oil, most products that are on the market, that THC has been removed or has been either grown, the plant has been grown, or the oil has been processed to a point that is minimal, that is less than 3.3%. that 0.3% could not have the impact on a cricket to get them high, if that is what the concern is. As we talked about earlier in this particular talk, that CB1 receptors and CB2 receptors are working on different things within your body. So CBD attacks the CB2 receptors, and actually, and I say attack, that's a very kind of a strong word for that, but it's actually working in conjunction with your endocannabinoid system to help to produce more protection for your body, to help reduce inflammation, to help boost your immune, and also protect the nerve. So if you're looking for a non-psychoactive approach, or I think that's probably the wrong word, but something that's not going to change who you are, it's not going to take your mind someplace else. That's not what CBD is designed to do. If you want a little less cognitive, function, if you want to space out for a little while or check out, we can recommend or send you to someone to recommend something for you, but that's not what we're recommending here. And this is not about promoting marijuana as a means for curing whatever is going on inside you. This is about promoting a plant, and that plant is hemp. And we believe that, and not only us, I mean, thousands of years of evidence, of research, of discovery has shown that human beings have believed in this approach for much longer than you and I have been alive. It's just for the last 100 years that I think that we have been getting misinformation about how these things can help us, or even if they can help us. So our goal, if there's another goal, is to help educate people on what this can really do and really clear up some mystery. So I really thank you for bringing that up, Kathleen. Sometimes, we should probably address that probably every single one of these talks. But and I think from here on we will, because we really want people to understand that what we're not doing is sitting out here and promoting marijuana use. I'm not condemning it either, but this is not what this program is about. If that's your way of getting healthy, fine, I promote that. But hey, Mom, what we are promoting is a healthy, non-toxic, non-psychoactive way of helping heal your body and naturally. That's it. So if you got any questions, or if you need more information, you want to find other information or other posts from us, you can find us at cherryblossom.cbd.com. You can reach out to us in our social media outlets. They're all at cherryblossom.cbd.com, at least on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And on Twitter, we are at cherry_CBD. So next week, we will see you. We are talking about
where the CBD oil come from.
Where does CBD oil come from? Look at nice segue, Kathleen. That was good. I didn't even see that coming, but we will talk about where does CBD oil come from. So next week we'll probably get a little bit more of the differences between marijuana and hemp, and what those substances and those derivatives are doing for you, and what they can do for you. All right. Thank you. Again, if you have any questions, you know where to reach us. And until next week, stay safe. All right. Be kind to your family. Be kind to your loved ones. We're all in a stressful situation. As they say, we're all in this together. But until we get out, that's it. I've run out of content. That's it for today. See you guys.